So, welcome.
Yes.
This
So where
has
I go,
been a
hello,
long time
Kevin.
coming. So, let's start off by, I guess, being cordial.
Okay, you
How was your
first.
day? How was your day?
How was my day?
Yeah,
It was good. How was your day?
it was busy, good. I've been looking forward to this.
Actually, my day was not good. Didn't I just get done saying that it wasn't good?
Oh my gosh, we're not even 30 seconds in and you're already giving me grief. Yes, you did.
Uh, so
Yes,
it
you
looks.
did.
Yep. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
No, I was
It's
gonna
your
say
it's your world.
I'm actually may leave a couple comments in the chat here too. I see mine looks like I'm not freezing up. So am I freezing up on your end now?
Unfortunately, I can't see you.
Oh, okay. Good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that could be a good thing.
So, before this gets completely out of hand, before we even
Yep.
start,
Yep.
so how did this come to be? Like honestly, because
Hmm.
I can't remember. Like, did you ask me to do
No, I
this, or
think you actually I think I may have had a video out where I talked about finding one. Might have been in one of my hauls. Something I mentioned it, and then you asked me if I would be interested in doing it. And I remember thinking, "Oh yeah, I'd be willing to do that." And then you're like, yeah, let's schedule it out till June." And it was like 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm like, "Who's this guy think he is? Like he's scheduling out buddy reads months and like months out." Like I was ready to read it that at that point. Like, "Hey, you want to do it for next month?" And you're like, "Oh, I'll pencil you in for June." I
no?
didn't realize that's how the good channels do it.
In
They
my
schedule.
defense,
Yeah, yeah,
surprisingly, going into the new year, I
yeah.
actually had people asking me to do buddy reads.
Okay.
Surprisingly, and
They
so
must have been desperate.
yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
screening, you and
Okay.
I just didn't want to overload me in 1 month,
Yeah. Yeah. You were kind of hoping you knew that my brain capacity couldn't remember that long, but I marked it down and I wasn't letting this slip.
Okay.
But
Well,
no, that you are the one that actually brought it to my attention. You asked me if I wanted to do it.
then I'm blaming Austin because
Yes. Yeah.
he's the one that I kept seeing reading these books and reviewing them, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
there's a
he
show about
really
that.
likes these. And the one thing I thought was really interesting is Austin was able to actually get the author to do oh boy, here we go. That didn't take long. I thought you blocked him.
I couldn't find the setting.
But yeah, he was able to actually get the author to come on to his channel. And did you ever see that one?
No,
You never saw that?
no.
Yeah. Yeah,
He
he
got
had Craig
he got
Johnson.
Craig Johnson on.
Yes. Yeah. No offense to Austin, but he had like maybe 50, 60 subs at the time, and he had like a legit author on his channel. He said he just reached out to him and the guy was really cool and said he'd do it. You'll have to
Well,
go back and look for it.
I will have to. Okay. Let's address the comment up
All
here.
right, yeah, let's. Oh, there's
BookTube
Nick.
dad.
Ah, yes. Yeah, she's my BookTube daughter.
She actually tells people that live on.
Yeah, well, she did right now. She let it slip.
So do you plan on doing an actual review of this book? Because I have one scheduled for, I think it's this coming Wednesday for Cold Dish.
Oh wait, what was that book?
You're funny.
Where
You're funny.
are you serious?
I
You
have
didn't
I
read the
have a
book?
I have a book review for this on this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, but I thought we were supposed to read this book.
You're hilarious.
Okay. I kid.
But if he actually had the author on it, that's interesting because in my upcoming video,
Okay.
I talk a little bit about Craig Johnson, some fun facts. I've never read a Craig Johnson before, so
Nope.
I've been lately interested in like what's the fun facts. They actually have Longmire days in Buffalo, Wyoming.
Oh,
and
really?
Craig Johnson and his wife created a Longmire Foundation, and so they actually participate where they go in. He gives talks. It's an
Okay.
actual thing, and it's in July, I believe, of this year. And
Okay.
I've got some screenshots and such of it, but that's interesting. I'll have to go back and check out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Are we getting comments?
Oh, we are.
Some other
Oh,
character. Well, we knew Scoot didn't have anything better to do.
thanks to Better Than Kevin, this is now one half good. Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Yep. This is
You
almost
know,
like that 1,000 subscriber
yeah, like I
video.
already had that.
I
You
could
had
just
your
watch
chance.
videos of this all day.
You had your chance, Steve, and you got your zingers in then. You're all you all are just now getting into this series. Yeah.
Hey, don't you have a baby to go take care of? What are you doing
Yeah,
over here?
Austin. Why are you
Yeah, you ain't got
interrupting
time for
that?
this stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some of this here. I have questions.
Okay.
I will tell the people watching that I did provide Jay the agenda ahead of time, so he has no excuses.
Yep. And I will still blow it, even though you even gave me the answers to the questions. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, it's the blind leading the blind here. So let's jump into some of these.
Okay.
Have you watched the show at all?
I have not watched a show.
Okay, same here. That's another thing I talk about too is the show. It was on A&E for 3 seasons.
Okay.
And then they stopped, even though it was like one of the best premiering shows
Really?
on A&E. They canceled. It was like 4.1 million views for like the series opening show, but they canceled it. And then 4 through 6 went to Netflix. So I do remember that from my video.
I honestly didn't even know it was a show. I honestly didn't realize it was a show.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I will not be watching it. I will tell you that. I'm not going to watch it now. At this
Why are you
point.
coming?
Oh man, here we go.
Steve's really showing his age if it's been 75 years. Let's just be honest.
Why are we so late? I don't understand. When was this book written? Do you know when it was? You must have done the research, right? 2000.
Yeah, it was. Go ahead.
Is that right?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
The show was brilliant.
What did you say?
2006 is what I have on that.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. I think it was. I thought it was 2005, 2006 is when the publisher.
Okay, so it's almost 20 years. So yeah, I guess we are a little late, but I guess you could say the same thing for Reacher. I'm starting that late.
Yeah.
Joe Pickett. I think that's another one that I'm late on.
I'm gonna read that soon, but yeah.
Yeah. But,
okay. Back to the questions, though.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Yep. It says stay focused. I forgot. Sorry. Go ahead.
See what I got to work with, people. What did you expect going in? Like, did you have any expectations going in? Like, outside of it's going to be about a sheriff and kind of a Western?
I had a feeling I was going to like it because of Austin's reviews. Like, he really liked this series. I don't know about this specific book. So I didn't know what it was about, but I was really looking forward to it. And I had a feeling it was something that I would be interested in. What do we got here? Oh, so here again, is Scoot being serious or are we joking here? Because you never know with this guy.
I'm questioning that.
The lead actor for Longmire was Agent Jones in The Matrix. I don't know. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to watch it then.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I guess I could watch the first episode.
As much as crap as I take from Steve,
yeah,
he's usually spot on things.
Is he?
So,
yeah. You think Steve gives you crap? I thought he just talks truth. I mean,
oh God, come on.
That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back on focus.
Did the book
on you? What are you talking about?
Did the book surprise you?
Yeah.
It did. Okay.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
No, I thought it just surprised me. Actually, I fell in love with it right off the rip. The humor in this. Can I talk about that yet or
Yes,
no?
go
Am
ahead.
I going too far? Um, I don't know. It's just such perfect guy humor, in my opinion. It's the kind of humor I enjoy. A lot of
Yeah.
bantering, a lot of dry, like stuff that probably shouldn't be said, but is said.
Yeah.
Might be what you're thinking. I don't know. I loved it. So I was talking to Graz while I was reading this because this
Mhm.
was uh, unusual for a buddy read. Usually I talk to the person, but this actually was enjoyable not
I
actually having
wasn't
to
going to
converse
talk
with you
to
the
you.
entire time.
You expected me to like, hey, buddy, what chapter are you on?
Yeah, well, that's usually how it goes, but it was much better this way, seeing how I didn't have to deal with you for a month. So we come together for an hour. We'll talk about the book. But yeah, I was telling Graz anyway that this book started out super good. I thought I was going to absolutely love this book just from the very beginning. And I I don't know about you, but the ending was super shocking. So yeah, if that was your original question, was I shocked or surprised? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I was too. I thought it was a little slow at the beginning, but I will
Okay.
say, like, book ones in a series tend to be pretty slow, and
Okay.
so I kind of was expecting, I need backstory, I need a little bit about what's going on.
Yep.
It heavily reminded me of Cork O'Connor from William Kent Kruger, that series. It heavily reminded me a little bit of Matthew Scudder from Lawrence Block, especially
Okay.
like Walt Longmire's kind of introspective looks about his life. But there
Yep.
was a lot I enjoyed about him as a character. So
Okay. See, I thought it started out really well, and then I thought the middle got a little slow. I was like, "Oh, here we go." A book that I thought was going to do really well started to slow down, in my opinion. But
yeah. You say you guys haven't read the Joe Pickett novels. What about James Lee Burke or the great Randy Wayne White? I have not read any of those authors
I
yet.
did read Joe Pickett, the first novel, and I and I
Okay.
I digged it. Yeah, I was digging that, so I will be sticking to that one as well.
I will definitely have to check out these books from Steve, another Steve recommendation. But yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Um, okay. Before we get into some of these other questions, I did have some
Yep.
fun items, and I want to start with this because I want I want people online to be able to comment and their guesses. But we're gonna
Okay.
play one round of two truths and a lie. And so, would you like me to go first, and then we'll let these guys have time while we talk about some other things,
Okay.
chime in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can start off.
Okay, so if you're watching this, you can chime in what you think the lie is here, but this is two truths and a lie for me. First, been married for over 25 years. Second, I can play the piano.
Hmm.
And third, I played basketball overseas.
Hmm.
Married
Do I
for
get?
over 25 years, can play the piano. I played basketball overseas.
Okay. I got my guess. I'll hold on to it, and I'll let some other people say. You let me know when you want my answer.
Okay.
Do we have just one person here? Is that where we're at this point?
No, we've got eight.
Two, maybe.
Eight.
There is two.
So do you want to do yours?
You want me to put mine out? All right, yeah. Mine's pretty simple. So, and then I picked this one potentially for something that we may talk about later as well. So, um, I am not afraid of, okay,
Okay.
spiders, needles, or heights, like being afraid of heights. So, one of those is false. No, wait. Two of them are true and one of them's false, right?
Yes, it's two truths and one lie.
Yep. Yep. What do we got? Okay.
Kevin's goatee is.
What did he say?
All right, let me back up here. Kevin has 7 toes on each foot. Kevin is only several countries no fly list. Kevin's goatee is glued on. That's a good one. A lot of people think,
for two people that don't like each other, we do have similarities.
yeah.
I mean, other than,
yeah. A lot of people think it's piano. We'll come back to that. I'll give some people some time to answer yours and mine, and then we'll let them know what it is. Okay, so back to some questions here. And I didn't go into like the summary of this thing, because I think most people have read this by now. But I'll give them like an elevator pitch. It's basically the main protagonist is Walt Longmire, has like 20 odd years as a sheriff. What is it? Soroka County or something like that in Wyoming. He's the sheriff there. Things are peaceful. He seems kind of this laid back sheriff. Not a lot happens, but then they find a young boy that's been killed near I think it's the Cheyenne Reservation. And so that happens. Then you come to find out that a couple years earlier, this same boy was part of a brutal kind of rape of a local Cheyenne girl, and there was multiple boys involved. And so it seems like someone's kind of taken their own vengeance towards these boys. And so a lot of people at the beginning don't want to read too much into this. And then Walt tries to kind of is trying to investigate, which that's kind of the premise. Where I think it's really dynamic, and I'm trying not to get too far ahead here, is as this is all taking place, you're getting all these backflashes to Walt's life, and so you're getting to learn about him. And I don't want to talk about what I enjoyed just yet, but that's the premise of it. It's an investigation. He's deals with it in a very interesting way. It's very kind of all over the place, but in kind of a good way.
Yeah.
It's almost like, have you seen, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like one of those painting type things where you see someone, it doesn't look like it makes any sense. And then they flip it over and you're like, there it is.
Yep.
And that's kind of how this all comes together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the summary of it. So back to the questions.
Okay.
I don't want to ask for your rating just yet, but I have a question for you. Henry Standing Bear. Do you think best sidekick ever? Or what did you think of him as a character?
Yeah, I thought he was a good sidekick.
Yeah.
That the way they played that throughout the entire book was probably one of the better parts of the book, I thought. Because he was, I don't, how much are we talking about? How in depth are we going with this?
We can, I mean, if they don't want spoilers, they can jump, but yeah,
Okay.
We can talk about it. Yeah.
How many times were we twisted back and forth? At least me.
Yeah.
He is involved. He isn't involved. He is involved. And the guts that Longmire had to kind of call him out. And then for him, what's his name? Standing Bear. What'd you call him?
Henry.
Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his actual name, right? To actually let him know, there's one part where he said, "You're pissing me off. You keep accusing me of, questioning."
Yeah.
And I told you no.
Yeah.
But yet there's a lot of things that kind of lead to maybe he did. I love that part of it.
Yeah, I did too. It was kind of a cat and mouse, who do you trust? And I liked it too. I don't know how you felt about this, but I liked it too because it was also after Henry was there trying hey dude, your wife is no longer in your life.
Yep.
It's time to get your crap together. Your house is a mess. You don't cook for yourself. I called construction people over to work on your house, this cabin. You need to get your crap together. And so for him to then later to accuse this guy that's coming over in the mornings and running with him, trying to get back in shape, this is the one guy in your corner, and now you're going to accuse him. But he had to because there was only somebody
he was doing his job. He was actually putting his job. Yeah. How did you like the scene where he's got the lights are out at the bar and Longmire pulls in and he goes and Henry's grabs an axe and starts chopping planks, or no, it was a crowbar, and starts popping boards off the wall to try and find the circuit breaker.
Yeah. I thought
And then
that was
later in the book, he rips on him by saying, "Hey, at least I have walls," because, like you were just saying, he's told him he's got to get his crap together. His house is basically just a skeleton, because after his wife passed away, he stopped caring about the house. He's like, "At least I have walls." Oh,
Jake Spoon is the best partner ever. Oh, that's good one, Scott. Little Lonesome Dove reference there. Oh yeah, I did like that part. I'm with you. I thought the humor was fantastic. It was that witty, dry, like it was right up. I think a lot of male audience or male readers, it's right up their alley.
Yep.
What about the pacing? Did you like the pacing? You liked the beginning, you said.
Yeah, I thought it died off a little bit in the middle. You said you thought it started out slow. I liked the beginning, and then I kind of felt like it was a little slow in the middle. And I was kind of like, oh man, it started out with so much potential, but then I felt like it kind of ramped back up. That was kind of my take on it. I mean it wasn't perfect all the way through. That's how I would say it.
No, it wasn't. My take was it was kind of slow at the beginning, but I was giving it like a pass because I knew it was book one.
Okay.
And then the middle, I wasn't concerned about the pace, so it was fine for me. And I was actually starting to get a little interested because it was kind of a hodgepodge at the beginning. I was trying to kind of figure out where I was at with all this. And then in the middle, it kind of started to come together a little bit. And then the last third was like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's interesting how you can get two people reading the same book and have different feels, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we end it exactly the same. I agree with you. The last third, phenomenal. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I would agree here on this. The best psychic ever, Art Thou Mad, Dr. Watson. Yeah, I would agree with that. I love, Sherlock and Watson. That's the dynamic duo there.
I have not read any of those yet.
Yeah, they're fun. They're
on my list
fun.
of many. So many books.
Yeah. So another question, what did you think about the setting and the Indian tribe and that? I mean, I mentioned earlier, it gives me a lot of Cork O'Connor vibes, from that setting being up in like northern Minnesota area. So I was getting a lot of that. It reminded me heavily of that. It was a little trippy at parts too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Are you talking like at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I love that kind of idea, the isolation kind of thing, but typical, depressing reservation type things, right? When they're driving through and you just see how poor these people are. And and I don't think it's probably far from the truth in some aspects, right?
No, I wouldn't think so either. Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. I think he depicted it probably really well. The whole concept of
it. And the fact that he lives there and they got a foundation there and everything, like it's probably not hard to get really good descriptive realism of the setting, especially around the reservation and that Wyoming area.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, was that, and I may be getting this wrong or confused with another book, was Custer in this? Was this mentioned in that? I could be getting this mixed up with something else I just recently read. That's not where the last battle was. Or did they talk about that at all?
I don't remember writing anything down about it, like where it stuck in my mind.
All right. So maybe I'm getting, which would be ironic that two Native American type books. I don't know where I would have saw that. It might have been something else. Anyway.
I liked it. Sorry. I liked it too, because it wasn't too heavy about the Indians as well, like the reservation and the tribes and stuff. It was just enough to give it the authenticity that it needed, but it wasn't overly, like it didn't like pull the brakes on the plot and story.
Yep. Well, again, Henry has to take him into the reservation because he knows you're not going to get anywhere without me. And he basically made him sit in the car while Henry did all the investigation for him.
Right. Yeah. And I liked at the end too, where the one kid at the climax is involved, and escapes, and Henry's like, I gotta make an Indian out of you,
Yeah,
hang with
yeah,
me, Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
That kid was a piece of work, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Okay,
How many times he ran away?
I know. So that's a great next question is
Uh-huh.
most punchable character in the book.
I mean, I
A
didn't think of
character,
him. I mean, he was kind of annoying, but I mean, actually made me laugh.
yeah,
Uh, uh like I said, was it sheriff, right? Sheriff, the
yeah,
old sheriff's nephew. But I almost think Cody. Cody was the really cocky boy during the trial, right?
yes,
I almost think that's who I would like to punch in the face, just because of the disrespect that he had at the very end of the
yeah,
trial. Because all
yeah,
four boys got to speak, right?
yeah,
And they went through, one who actually was repenting of what he did, and then him who was could care less. So I,
yeah.
I would say Cody would be my guy. How about yourself?
I wanted to punch Walt at the beginning.
You did,
See, here's the thing, like, I like his character. I think his
yeah.
character was great for this,
That's not
but
the answer I expected.
I wanted to punch him at the beginning because I I'm kind of talking out both sides of my mouth because I
Okay,
liked it because you get to see you're definitely probably going to see a huge character swing in his arc here throughout the series, but he was like because you have to kind of pull for him. He's down on his luck, his house is a mess, his life's in disarray. So
yep,
he's very relatable, as a character. He's got all these
yeah.
thoughts. He's very wants to say certain things but doesn't, like to
He's
Vic.
not like Reacher.
Yeah. And so at some point I'm like, okay, well, come on, pull your pants up, let's go, let's get, and I want to just hit him about it, but in retrospect, like
Yeah,
it's gonna make it for a great series, and it reminded me heavily of like Scudder, like, hey, get your life together, you're an alcoholic, and he finally does too, but it's like,
mhm.
you know, he was the one I wanted to
So you were
punch.
annoyed with him.
Yeah,
Interesting.
at the beginning I was, at the
Yep,
end I was all for
I
him,
get
like
it. Yeah,
finally,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What was me kind of gets old sometimes.
yeah. Most punchable character. That's probably I probably got this. This is probably a Scootism. I probably got this from Scoot,
Uh-huh. The punchable thing?
the punchable thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like something he would do.
yeah. Be right up his alley.
And Nikki was right. Robin is a great sidekick.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Nikki have been sending videos back and forth of the old was it West? What was his
Mhm.
that show was
Yeah.
so bad. That show was so bad. We had a lot of fun with it though.
Yeah.
But so what else we got? What else we got?
So what did you think about Vic Moretti? She's sharp from like your area,
Oh,
your neck of the woods, kind of, and but then goes to Wyoming, and she's got
yeah.
connections. She definitely,
Absolutely loved her.
yeah, yeah. I liked her. She's got a foul mouth too.
Oh, she's like one of the guys,
Oh yeah,
you know? Um You kind of feel bad for her too, though. She's not going. She's got it a little rough at home, right? Things aren't going
yes,
well there.
yes,
She, like you said, she was from the big town,
yeah.
and he got her a position there in this dumpy little town. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that's your two truths and a lie, you're going to
Yeah.
be a terrible at this game. Yes, she has a terrible home life. Yeah,
Yeah. No, but I think she was probably one of my favorite characters.
same. I
Just
can't
a
believe I'll
wise
say that.
guy, didn't
Yeah,
take any crap. Um,
she's hard on Walt.
most of my quotes that I loved were from her. I
Yeah,
mean, right in the very beginning, she's mad because she's got to go out to this place where allegedly there's a dead body, but I think Walt doesn't think it's actually a body, right? Isn't that how
he
this whole thing
doesn't.
starts out? And she's
He's
like,
at the bar, isn't he? When he gets the call, I
I
think he
think so.
was.
Yeah, yeah, he was. He was at the bar.
Yeah,
So he goes out and gets her and tells her to go out there, and
yeah,
she basically drives by at 80 miles an hour with her finger out, like flipping him off as she's driving by.
right.
And that's her boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's definitely one of my favorite characters.
So, What'd you think of the love interest, Vonnie? You know, she's wealthy, she's back in town, she's interested in Walt. What'd you think about that whole dynamic?
Uh, I think it's needed. I thought it was needed because of why he's down and out. But correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not get the feeling that he wasn't as in love with his wife as the very beginning of the book makes it sound?
Kind
Did you
of.
did you get
I, w-
confused at the end a little bit about that?
I was a little bit like,
Yeah,
I was expecting like him to have, well, I haven't moved on because I haven't processed it all or whatever, you
right,
know.
right.
And I did kind of get like it was mixed at the end.
Yeah, because it makes you think like he's so down and out that he hadn't even finished his house. And you
Right.
think, well, I mean, I'm assuming it's because his wife passed away and that's the love of his life. And then towards the end, I mean, I don't remember exactly what the comment was, but I was like, that doesn't sound like I think he said something about they stuck together for the kids or the for the daughter or whatever. And that
Yeah.
was another interesting thing. Like the daughter that did they ever even get
No.
connected? Okay,
No,
that like that
I
was a
think
part
it,
of the story that never I mean, that probably will be later in the books, I'm sure, maybe.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That I don't, they never did, I don't think, speak, if I remember correctly, but
No, I don't think so either.
it was
Or
hinted
do
at
they?
like they do sometimes, I believe.
Okay.
Now, here's a Scott thing for you, a little
Okay.
Scoot question. Do you remember his wife's name?
No. I do not remember his wife's name.
I think it's Kathy.
Oh, really?
I think. I
Well,
think it's
that's my
Kathy.
wife's name, so you think I would remember that.
I
I
think
don't even know where you would find that. Would it be in the
it's
very
got to be
beginning?
at some point because he definitely talks about it. I think it's Kathy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I no. Why would Scott ask me a
Scott will
question
probably
like that?
Google it. Scott will Google it for us.
Barbara? That's my mom's name. What is going on here? Why are you guys naming women that I know? Creeps.
We've done some research on you there,
Yeah, I guess
Faceless.
so. Uh, gotta watch who you're hanging out with, man.
All right, so you touched on quote. What was yours?
Oh man. I
I asked you for your best one. What was your best one?
all right. Well, there was many. All these right here. Oh, hold on. Can you see that? And I
Yeah,
don't mark my books ever, so I did it for this because I knew we would be talking about it.
yeah.
These are all like the things that made me laugh or chuckle. And I think my favorite. Oh man, there's just so many. Hold on a second. I probably should have done a better job of having it ready, huh?
You probably should have.
Okay, yeah. So Lucian, hold on. What do we got here? Read that out loud to me while I get myself ready here.
Curiosity, this is from Brian, of
Yep.
course. Curiosity was stirring with the talk of dead bodies and foul mouths, but with love interest, it's gone. He should be, he writes one liners. He should be
Yeah,
writing.
yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely needs to be in that line of work.
I mean, I can't, I could, my comment of the week for my weekly wrap up would be Brian over and over again if I wouldn't like look past some of his comments, honestly.
All right, so this is the one that I liked. It was the sheriff before. All right, hold on. What's this say? It's his first time.
It's his first time live. We'll cut him some slack.
Hey, thanks, Scoop. Yeah, the guy's a jerk, isn't he? Um, and it's the old sheriff telling a story about how he pulls over this old Indian couple.
Okay.
Okay, and the cop walks up to the car and says, "Hey, chief." So I'll just read you what it says. It says, "Hey, chief." He wasn't joking. Frank Redshield was a chief of the Northern Cheyenne. Then this is what he says to him. He says, "I pulled you over because you have a couple taillights out in the back here." He says the old chief's eyes twinkled and he parted Lucian's arm or patted Lucian's arms that rested on the car. And he says, "Oh, that's okay. I thought you were pulling me over because I have no license." So he says that, right? And then it says Lucian basically was biting his lips, trying not to laugh. And
Yeah.
then the Mrs. Red Shield uh, slaps her husband across the chest and says, "Don't pay any attention to him, Sheriff. he don't know what he's saying when he's been drinking. So I like that. You know, he's pulling him over for taillight being out. This guy says, "Oh, I thought you were pulling me over for not having a driver's license." And then the old lady's like, "Oh, stop it. He gets this way when he's drinking."
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I remember that part.
uh,
Mine was this quote, and I think it's Walt that says it. It's either
uh-huh.
Walt or Henry. Walter, I think it's Walt.
Yeah.
It's I sometimes forgot about how spiritual Henry was. I had been raised as a Methodist where the highest sacrament was the bake sale.
That was your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got to give you one more though. I
Okay,
got to give
go.
you one more.
Go.
It's oh man. Hold on. Read some quotes or something while I have them marked. I should have actually wrote them down.
Well,
It's
first and foremost,
yep.
I'll give them the answer to my two truths and a lie.
Okay.
So
Well,
mine
can
were
I tell you what I think?
sure, go ahead.
The piano.
Okay.
That's
So
what I think is the lie.
okay. Mine was married for over 25 years,
Yep.
play the piano, and played basketball overseas. And
Okay.
my lie is the piano. So
Yes.
if you said
Yes.
piano,
Yep.
you were right.
I did. Because I know you. What are you?
Five.
6'5"?
Five. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a feeling maybe that was true. All right. So this is when this is when Walt is out in the very beginning of the book where Cody's lying dead
Mm-hmm.
out in the field,
Oh, I
and
think I know what you're gonna say.
the body was lying face down, all the limbs arranged in normal fashion, arms at the side with the palms turned to the lemon-colored sky. I was tempted to see if Cody's lifeline was abnormally short, but his hands were already bagged. So he was going to palm read. He wanted to see if the lifeline was long or short.
Yeah.
Now he's at a crime scene, and this is what's running through his mind, right? This is guy humor. It's
Yeah.
not funny, but it's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you like that kind of stuff, you're gonna like that book. You're gonna like this book. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I think.
Yeah. I got a feeling too it's probably gonna be continuous throughout it too as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So your two truths and a
Oh,
lie you want to give.
oh yeah. Did you? Mine was. I'm not afraid of spiders, needles, or heights.
And
What?
I guess
What do you think?
needles.
Okay. So you think I'm not afraid of them?
I think you're afraid of needles.
Okay. You would be true. That is correct. That is correct. Yep. And then I have a story to go with that if we touch on any of the other stuff that you wanted to talk about. So,
Go with the story. We're here. Let's do it.
well, it wasn't the story. It was you wanted to ask what an embarrassing fact about me.
Oh, yes, that was the
Do
next
you want to
question.
do that one? Because I've got a
Sure.
pretty good one, and it just happened recently. Um, I'm not the type of guy that goes to the doctor very often, and I've been putting it off for years. And my wife has been on me because she thinks I have Lyme disease, which I finally went and got some blood work done. And yes, I do have Lyme disease. So I'm hoping that takes care of a lot of issues that I have. Brain fog being one of them. That would be amazing instead of me just getting on here and feeling like an idiot.
That
It could just be an
that's
idiot. I don't know. But I
isn't
ended
that
up asking this guy, the doctor, first time I saw him, and I'm like, all right, if I'm going to get blood work done, let's just do the whole gambit. I'm like, let's test this, let's test that. By the time I was done, I walked out of there. And when I went to get my blood work done, I had to have 14 tubes. Now, I don't know if anybody's like, I've asked around and I hear like 6, 7, maybe 8. My wife tells me it's no big deal, but she gives blood all the time. But to have blood work done, I had 14 tubes. So I'm sitting there and I have a phobia of them as it is. But the last time I went, it went really well. The lady did it, no problem. So I'm sitting there and she's talking to me, and the first 5 went real fast. Then I noticed from 5 to 6 went a little slower, 7 to or 6 to 7, 7 to 8. By the time we got to 8, I was like, I'm never gonna make it. And she's not watching me. She's doing the whole thing. She goes, "How you doing over there?" Meanwhile, I'm like slumped over in the chair. I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "You need me to stop?" And I'm like, I'm thinking, man, I really want to power through this, right? And just be done with it. But I'm like, I don't think I can. She looks up and she's like, whoa. So she like rips the thing out of my arm. She's like, lean into me. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Just let me sit here for a minute. She's like, no, absolutely not. So she grabs me, and a grown woman grabbing me, like 215-pound lardo, and she's like setting me down on the floor. So there I am on the floor. She takes my legs, lifts them up. And here's the kicker: the door's open, so anybody that walks by can see me, basically passing out. 3 or 4 nurses come in, help her out. She finishes up on the other arm with the other 5. The whole time I kept saying, "Oh, 10. You got to do 10. You got to do 10." And then at the very end, she goes, "It was 14, you idiot." So yeah, I want to say I didn't pass out, but here's the other thing. When she finally sat me in my chair 5 minutes later, I look over and my hat and my glasses are sitting on the thing. And I'm like, when did my hat and my glasses? She's like, I ripped them off when I had you come into me. And I'm like, all right, maybe I did pass out. So
Wow.
yeah. Moral of the story is no more than 5 or 6 tubes. I can't do 14.
Lyme disease is like, that's
It's
serious.
legit. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah. And the worst part is I get to hear I told you so from my wife, because she told me to get tested about 5 years ago. And
Yeah.
because I'm afraid of needles, I don't want to do it. And meanwhile, maybe for the last 5 years, I've been dealing with some issues because it came back testing that it was from a while ago. It's not something that I just recently got. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's the embarrassing. I mean, thank God nobody walked by other than the nurses, because it was literally right there where all the people are in the waiting room. And I'm like,
well, you weren't in a gown, were you? Or were you?
no, but it's still, I mean, I'm a grown man laying on the ground with a woman holding my feet up at a 90-degree. I mean, it's ridiculous. So then I had to go back a week later to get retested, and it was a different woman. And I'm like, how many tubes? She says 2. I said, okay, just so you're aware. I said, I didn't do so well last time I was here. She goes, oh, you're that guy? So clearly I was the talk of the hospital for a while. Yep.
Yeah, that would be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Luckily, though, I'm a clown. I played it off like an idiot that I am. So Scott, grown man. Grown man child.
Grown man child. Embarrassing thing for me. Well, recently I started reading some adult westerns.
Yeah. I saw that.
So every once in a while, I'll meet my wife and some of her coworkers that also read pretty avidly. And I was sharing with a few of them, about reading one of these gunsmith novels and its adult content.
Yep.
And I shared some of the few passages with them that made me blush. And they were like, that's nothing. And so I got some text back with some passages from, and I was like,
that's what's in some of these, like, quote unquote romance novels are.
yeah, I was like, holy cow. Yeah. So I guess, Robert Randisi and his Gunsmiths adult westerns is pretty tame compared to what nowadays is. But that's my embarrassing thing. I mean, the funny thing is that they're like a palate cleanser. I'm going to read another one next week.
Yeah.
But if you kind of, depending on what your tastes are, if you skip over those little
me and you talked about that before.
Yeah, it's a good, like, pretty simple premise. Not a lot of huge effort, but it's kind of fun. Quick read.
Yeah.
And when I got back some of those passages from them, and then they were kind of giving me grief at lunch one day.
You felt like a little kid.
Yeah, I was like, I'm here. I am thinking like I've discovered plutonium. You're like, hey, we're already light years ahead of you. You're like,
yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
Well, now you know not to read romance novels, I guess.
I guess.
Yes.
Man, we got quite a few people here. We got Nicole, Scott, Steve, Brian, Pat, Lou.
Hey, you can see who's here.
Yeah, we got Riding for Jesus, Alan from Big Hard Books. Yeah.
Oh, let Aunt Pat know to watch where she steps, because there's a lot of it around.
Yeah. It's getting pretty deep on.
And it's stinky
on this side.
Yeah, I don't know where you are, but whatever one, I don't know.
Okay, so
Where are we
that was
at?
the embarrassing fact.
Yeah.
Okay, now so this was part of the agenda too for the folks at home. Now we're supposed to provide one thing about the other person's channel that we hate to admit that we
Oh,
actually admire about them.
well, seeing as how I went first on the last one, you go first this time.
Oh boy,
Hold on, let me get my recorder going here. I want to record this.
this is gonna taste like vinegar.
Uh,
I have two things.
one, I don't show my face.
No, I was actually gonna be nice, but
Okay.
there's two things. One actually can be funny at times.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And then second thing that I admire and I'm very envious of is the landscapes. Like you
Oh,
have, amazing landscapes.
yeah. Yeah. So, what time is it? 7:40. Yeah. I have to actually go in a minute here. So, I guess I'll come back to that one later. I kid. I kid. I kid. Um, so I was originally going to say, and I've kind of complimented you on this before, that the amount of effort you put into what you're doing, like I don't know how you do it. That's what I would say. With between work and reading and putting out videos, like I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Um, But I think the one thing other than that and this kills me to say, but I personally feel like you actually are one of the nice guys out there. You know what I mean? You do a lot for a lot of other channels with mentioning, doing your little shout outs to people, constantly putting post out for other channels. Even as far as like naming all the people who leave comments. Um, I don't
Yeah.
know. You can't be fake and be doing all that stuff. So that is one thing I've said to several people behind your back that you actually are one of the good guys. Ugh.
You wait till
Can we move on to other things now?
you're gonna love my Saturday shorts tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh man. Oh, you know what? And I just got done saying how nice you are, but yet you wouldn't tell me what you thought of that book.
I do. I will. I'm making you wait until tomorrow, and then
Yeah,
you'll
I
you'll
know
know.
because I asked you several times in text and you just snickered. I
Now,
got
I did go back and find the actual video that you made of it.
okay.
You're walking on a road talking
Yep.
about it,
Yep.
you know, and it was 11 months ago.
Whew.
And I had been telling you like that sounds really interesting, and I commented, and I think you gave me a shout out along with some other channels like
Yep.
Thomas and others, but I had told you like, hey, that sounds really good, and it's taken me that long to find the
Well, it
copy.
took 4 months to do a buddy read with you. I mean, you're busy. What do you say? I mean, how many times
Yeah,
did I offer to send you the book? I'm glad I didn't because I don't keep books. Um, but the one Colleen McKay, the one that Scoop gave me,
mhm.
the Teton Butch or however you're saying it. I keep there's only ones I really enjoy do I keep. And
Yeah.
I was willing to give it. That's how nice of a guy you are that I was willing to give up a book I wanted to keep. And I kept saying, "Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you." You're like, "No, I'm going to find it." And I'm like, "All right." Obviously, he doesn't want me to know where he lives. That's what I really got out of that. After 11 months of trying to give a book to you, you wouldn't take it. You just didn't want me to know where you lived. So P.O.
It's
box for
I'm in the Midwest, Central Illinois. It's not hard to find me. Um, so rating, you don't do ratings though,
I
right?
don't do ratings anymore. No,
Okay, so give me your overall thoughts then.
I
And then
personally, I would definitely recommend this book, but I feel like it would be specific types of people though. Like I don't think everybody would enjoy this kind of book. I how a lot of times like I don't know if it's understood when I say like a guy read. Like I just feel like this is a guy read. Like Reacher's
yeah,
a guy read. Clive Cussler seems like a guy read. Just certain. I'm not saying women won't like them. What's this? Yeah. Yep. He's probably too busy with you that he doesn't answer his text with me. But that's
Scott.
whatever.
Scott is probably the closest person in my little booktube circle of whatever you want to call it.
Well, you do hang out with him
locally to me, and I need my buffer zone.
Well, this is what I learned about Scoot is he likes to do this. Right? He likes to stir the pot a little bit with everything. Yeah. He's trying to brag. Yeah. Meanwhile, I've got his dog. You know that, right? I stole his dog. Did you hear about that? Yeah, he's still crying about that. Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were giving me your overall thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, my overall. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this book. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I'm sorry. I forgot to keep track of what you told me to say, but I'm looking forward to reading more of this. So, yeah, this is definitely a recommend for me. But I do know that some people would not. I wouldn't recommend it to the people that I don't think would enjoy it. But
I don't think. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's going to enjoy this, but I think what I'm looking forward most is I have a feeling a lot of these characters are going to be staples in the book. And
I hope so.
We're going to get like character growth, and you're going to keep reading, and it's going to have that comfort level until you know he kills one of them off or something and your heart's broken and all that. But I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm looking forward to is there's Henry again. What are they up to now? You know?
Yeah. That's the one thing about series is that's really cool is when you get to see the personal growth over the character arcs over the series. That's what draws people in. I definitely think authors should be less tentative about killing off characters, and I think a lot of them kind of shy away because they're worried about viewer, constant readers.
Fall in love with characters they don't want to see. You saw what happened in Misery, right? You've seen that. Yeah, that's what happens.
But I'm with you. I think it's a great book. I thought it was a great first, book in a series. I thought it really closed out really well. I had a really cool kind of twist that I kind of saw coming, but
you saw that? You saw the ending?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of knew that was coming. I liked how he did it, though. I mean,
I can never figure out who the killer is.
Yeah.
Where were the clues? Where were the clues?
I as soon as the towards the end, there was a couple things for me.
Okay.
There was the one where she didn't like the gun in the house. That seemed weird to me.
Okay.
I don't know why, and then that's not like, oh my gosh, I should have known that type thing. But that was like one little domino. But then the last one kind of fell when they were talking when the kid ran off and they're chasing them and they're at the creek and there was a shot and Henry and both Walt are like, you know who that is, and I'm like, yeah, and so do I. See,
I thought it might have been the old sheriff has one leg though, right? That's the only reason I think it was him.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was Henry half the time too. I mean, it could have been one of the kids' fathers, right? Because he was quote unquote out hunting for a week. They couldn't find him. That's convenient.
Yeah. See, Johnson did a really good job, similar to like Deaver, in creating some misdirection. Like Henry doesn't show up one morning to run with them when he's trying to get him kind of his life back together type thing. So there's little Easter eggs throughout to kind of pull you in the wrong direction. So yeah. So he can hone his whodunit skills. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommend it too. I thought it was great. I really liked Walt as a character. I'm with you. I want to see some of these characters, especially Vic and Henry, come back. I want to see, in book 2, like how much progress has he made, with getting his crap together, and
because he doesn't end in the book well, does he?
No.
He's not state again.
No. Yeah. Well, and I thought it was really neat too, because he's starting a relationship and the relationship, kind of fizzles on him. And it's like, okay, where is he going to be now?
Right.
And not only like personally, but then professionally, like he was at that point where like, he's just looking to like coast into retirement. He'd been there 24 years.
He's playing in the head here. Yep.
Yeah. And so now you got this huge thing that happened. And so, and they hinted at re-election too.
Yeah.
So that could probably be a part of a plot or arc that's going to happen as well. So
Well, that's the other thing
there's
is we know that there's a lot of books ahead, so
sure,
he's an over. Yeah.
yeah. So
What
I really enjoyed it.
what was your rating? I also want to ask you what you thought about the face plant, and then don't forget I wanted to talk to you about him carrying those guys down the mountain.
Okay.
So, what was your overall rating? I don't
My
think you ever
overall,
did you?
yeah, I gave it an overall rating was 4.1 out of 5.
4.1. Okay, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
good for
good.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What was your other questions?
Uh, what did you think about in that part of the story where the guy took a faceplant into the side panel of the car? Was that not brutal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
That was,
I was all for it when it happened, and then like who's the lady that answers the phone?
Vic.
Rudy? What is
No, yeah, no, you're right. It is I have it written down here. It was
Rose or
Ruby.
Rudy?
Ruby.
Rudy?
Yeah,
Ruby?
this is the
Okay.
dispatcher.
He
Yep.
calls him out on it, right? Like, and then all of a sudden you start realizing he might have went a little overboard. He messed him up,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
sick how he did it.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I wanted to get your thought on is the part where he's bringing down the kid, right? He brings the kid down because he's injured, and then Henry is also injured. What was that whole thing about? So Henry, we take it that Henry was singing an old Cheyenne song,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He was sending like like a Indians, like kind of,
Yes.
yeah. And so he leaves Henry, right,
Yeah.
for a while to take the kid.
Yep.
And then he's almost, I wouldn't say dreaming, almost like hallucinating. He's seeing like these
Yeah.
Indians, and he thinks he's seeing these Indians, and he doesn't know if they're helping or hurting. And he's so physically exhausted at that point. Like he's just trying to put one foot in front of the other. And
Mhm.
he's just kind of like in this trippy kind of, and he doesn't know if they're helping or hurting him, but they don't seem to be like hurting him.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of going with it. And it was a really interesting kind of section. But yeah, and then he also, like, it's so cold that
Yeah.
he ends up in the hospital, and he has his hands all jacked up.
Yeah. He
And
must have frozen burn on what the hands and his
yeah,
ears, right?
yes, yeah,
I don't know. I always get like that kind of stuff. I'm always like I think it almost has to be a fatigue issue, a cold thing. Like he's just kind of hallucinating.
yeah,
I don't really think it's a spiritual thing. Maybe it is in a fictitious way in a story because it definitely goes along with how Indians portray that kind of spiritual, like the dead
yeah.
helping.
It's kind of like the perception of the person. Like if they're, like Henry would definitely feel like, hey, you were
Yeah.
talked to by these spirits, from
Yeah.
the Cheyenne reservation, the dead that are helping you type thing. Whereas Walt's going to be kind of more,
Yeah, I think it was scientifically.
yeah, like I was exhausted. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't, I was out of my mind,
Yeah. Well, what was interesting though is those illusions went away when Henry stopped singing.
I know. And see,
That's
another
that was
kind of,
kind of the cool part.
yeah, that was the kind of the fun part about how you wrote
Yeah.
that in
He was
there.
shaking him to try to get him to keep going.
Yeah.
He thought he was broke.
Yeah. I thought that was
yeah.
really fun. Yeah,
I think,
that was a great book. So
yeah.
you're going to continue?
Oh, I'm definitely going to continue. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Austin actually gets the credit for this because he's the one that turned me on to these.
Yeah.
He loves these. He talks about in some of his reviews about how he went on a cruise with his wife and spent the entire cruise just reading books, reading books in the series. So I'm sure that made the wife happy.
I will definitely be adding this to the series rotation for sure.
Oh, Frostbite, is that what it's called? I said freezer burn, didn't I?
Yeah. It's not a steak, or a frozen pizza.
See, I blame it on the lime, dude. Wait until I'm cured of this. I'm going to be so much smarter.
Okay, so we kind of talked about overall thoughts.
Yep.
What's next for Faceless book reviews?
Well, hello. I don't know. I'm struggling right now. I think
What's up, Dawn?
I got to get work caught up. You know what I mean? I think I got to get Yeah, I'm in limbo right now. I'm not really sure what I'm thinking. I took a little hiatus, came back. I don't know. I really don't have any plans. I really don't know where I'm going with it. Like I think at this point it's just going to be I'll just release things as I release them. Like I definitely can't stick to any type of schedule. Um, yeah. What about yourself?
Well, I've
Continue
got
to
an
burn
interesting
yourself out.
video. Huh?
I
What's
said
that?
continue to burn yourself out.
I know. Um, I this week was I mean I took one huge book haul and made 5 videos out of
I
it,
know.
like,
I know.
and that was in hindsight it was better doing it that way than doing
Yeah.
one like
Yeah, you
hour
can't do
long.
a whole. Nobody's gonna watch an hour of you going through books.
I know. So I liked it, and I
I might
definitely
because I've got nothing better to do. But
right. I got a lot of positive feedback about it, so
yeah, no, look,
that was nice. I definitely want to get back into the cadence of probably like 3 or 4 videos a week and kind
okay,
of stay there.
yeah,
Um, Saturday shorts,
okay,
weekly wrap ups,
yep,
continue to do book reviews. I'm way behind on book tags.
okay, yeah. You know my take on that.
I know.
And they are easy to do though. It's just getting to them. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I like just I think my thing is just doing reviews, but I just I have one that I've been trying to do. We talked about before. I've done it 3 different times and I still haven't produced it yet because it's not what I want it to be. So I keep scratching it, and then my other thing is always feeling like I need to have an environment to go to. You know what I mean? Like there is something to be said to be sitting in front of the camera and being in your office and just making videos. That would be a lot easier. I have to kind of plan, around the weather a little bit sometimes. I tried doing it the other day and it was pouring. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well, I can't do it. And it's how many videos can I make by the pond? I guess. I mean, I'm not really doing the walking like I was. I don't know. I don't know.
I can tell you like I've enjoyed June on the Range a lot. I've been a thousand
Yeah,
percent in.
yeah.
Um July, it's probably I'm gonna be getting back into some of these
Some of the
series that
series. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be
Yep.
reading a lot of those, like Harry Bosch. I'm gonna finish Evan Tanner, Bertie Ronenbar, Travis McGee. I want to get back into that stuff.
Yeah.
I miss some Sherlock. I miss a Conan.
Yeah. Isn't that
So
funny how when you get out of stuff, you miss it? Like you want to get
yeah,
back that comfort zone. That's what I
yeah,
think was gonna happen with the Longmire stuff. I think eventually you're gonna get comfortable with
yeah,
these characters.
yeah. And so that's on the horizon. I definitely too. There's been some independent authors I want to get to stuff.
Mhm.
I want to get
Mhm.
to the rest of Nicole's
Okay.
fantasy urban fantasy books. I want to
Yep.
read some more from Thomas McNulty. I need to read some more from Tim. I need to read Eric Wags. He's got a couple fantasy books I want to read. So I might do like an indie month where I just read
Uh,
that stuff.
yep.
Um, and then there's nonfiction November on the horizon.
I don't
So
I don't even bother trying to participate in any of these things. They would be a fail every time. Congrats to you though. I mean, look at you guys left me for dead on the wagon train. I'm eight books in, 9 books in. I'm never
So I
finishing.
talked a little bit about that. I have a video coming out
Uh-huh.
Tuesday about my kind of
Overall,
overall Sackett
your brag
saga.
fest that you made it and nobody else did. Congrats. And I busted your chops about being a city slicker. That's the best part. I was
Yeah,
the handsome gun toting. What a
yeah,
loser. I
yeah.
think you killed my horse though. I think
I I just
you
kneecapped
poisoned
him. Just kneecapped him.
it.
But that's the horizon for me. I have a video Monday about kind of a discussionary video about flipping like the negative parts of book two, flipping it into a positive when
Yeah.
you kind of take a different perception about or perspective about,
Yep.
you know, when it comes to like things like having to be on all the time, or when it comes to like having to, everyone's always gushing about books all the time versus giving criticism and,
Hmm.
just certain things like that people kind of get into a rut in booktube and kind of flipping them into a positive. So I kind of did one of those videos. I felt like it was warranted,
Yeah.
just in general. But yeah, I mean, book reviews. I probably ain't gonna haul anything for a while.
Yeah, no, I don't. Man, that's a lot of books. A lot of books.
Yeah,
I still got to
I
get
mean,
caught up. I think I'm only on your. I think I got 4 and 5 to still watch. So,
yeah,
and this is another thing. Like, it's just I haven't actually even been able to watch a lot of videos either.
I'm the same.
It's. Do you feel it? Is it just when our attitude is like that, or do you feel like as a whole that it's kind of slowed down a little bit? Do you think that there's seasons for this booktube thing, or not? Yeah,
I do.
booktube.
I
You
do.
think the winners are more popular? Like there's less to do? Like I just feel like there's ebbs and flows, but and I find that in myself. I just wonder if that's a common thing or if it's just a me thing.
Yeah, I think it's a common thing, honestly. I
Yeah.
think I knew kind of coming into summer months with kids and everything else, like things are going to have to slow down a little bit. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of booktubers that do this as a hobby that have families, like this will become low priority for them. Whereas others that do this because, you know, they don't have families or they don't
Or
have,
they're retired
yeah,
people.
like,
This would be amazing if you're retired.
yeah. And I think that's great because it continues to put the content out there and give people something to watch, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
But do you think there's ebbs and flows of people watching our videos? Not necessarily the content
sure, sure.
creator, right?
I
Yeah.
do too.
I
I
find
think it kind
myself
of, yeah,
leaving certain things and coming back.
yeah, I
You
think
know what I
so.
mean? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think the more people are out and about in the summertime, the less they're
Yeah.
going to be wanting to be in front of YouTube. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so but yeah, and then and I'm sure it also goes hand in hand with like movies. Like there's nothing coming out, so people there's nothing streaming that's great, and they'll be
Yeah.
on YouTube. So
So we hope for a slow season in movies. There you go.
there you go. I do
Yeah,
think
so
people slow
I
down.
agree with Mickey. Yeah, I think slow. I think summertime comes and watching videos becomes less of a priority
Yeah, I agree.
when you got stuff to do and it's nice out and like
Yeah,
you're saying, kids are home. You know
yeah,
what I mean? A lot of people who have kids that age.
yeah.
We might have one, but she's can take care of herself, but she's still home.
So is this your first live?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is
Oh,
only my second time with my face on here too. Other than some clown posting my face 1,000 times. That was real cute.
I wonder if you'll see that tomorrow.
Oh man. Uh, yep. Yep.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun, man. Just think this all started back when you were wearing the hoodie after you had some surgery on your ear. And I
Yeah.
started busting your chops about looking like the character in what was it, Unbreakable? The Bruce Willis character.
Yeah.
Oh man! And then I was busting your chops, and I didn't know you that well at the time. And then I was like, man, I hope he doesn't like take it too serious. And to come to find out, like it couldn't have happened to somebody better, right? Like you completely didn't take it the wrong way. Oh, 28 years later.
He's gonna use your face as one of the infected zombies.
Oh,
So Scott,
he's just mad that I got his dog.
I don't know if people have seen this because I
Uh-huh.
don't think Scott did a video. I think he did a short, but Scott for Father's Day was turned into a Funko Pop.
Yes, yeah. I tried to comment, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I
For
think
some reason, I can't comment on those
I think
shorts
he
on my
turned
phone.
comments off. I think he was feeling a little self conscious, and so I
Yeah,
think he turned the comments off.
he probably did. He probably did. Weren't you supposed to work for something on him? Where?
Oh yeah, I've he sent me an email, and I'm just like ignore. I'm
I
ghosting
know
him.
he sends crap to me all the time, like,
I
"Hey,
know.
help me out," and I'm like, "Dude, help
He,
yourself."
he's like this little brother always wanting something from me. Like you just go
Yeah,
away.
I never ask for any help from him. I
I
never
know.
send him anything.
I tried texting with him one time. And I wasn't even. It was someone else.
That was great. Oh, yeah, that Funko Pop. Yeah, that was definitely. Well, let's be honest. Scott is. I honestly, I think Scott is one of the funniest people out there. I've always said that. Please play with me.
So
Uh,
any other questions, thoughts about this book, Jay?
Not really. No, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Okay.
And
Do
yeah,
you
it was
think
fun.
you'll find a buddy to read it with you?
I don't know. It depends what people see this video. If not, if nobody watches this, potentially, we will find out who watched this and who didn't.
Well, I guess if if people out here could feel sorry for you, maybe they'll say, "Hey, I'll read it with you."
Well, I think Scott offered to do a buddy read with me. I don't know if he's still. Where is it? Is that maybe that one? I think we talked about maybe doing something like that. I got to set aside there, but I'm ready to start that probably within a week or two. I don't need to like plan out a couple months like some people. Hey Jay, you want to do a buddy read? Yeah. How's June sound? Sounds like 4 months away.
Oh man. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. This went a little longer than I expected.
Oh, this is short.
This is short?
I've been on these with Logan for 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
You should, and then Scott, like he just constant talk.
Yeah,
talk.
Scott's like that. I mean, well, you saw his comment. Please play with me.
I got you penciled in for.
It's funny. You notice it says pencil too. He didn't pen it in. He penciled it in. Yeah,
that's good.
Great. Yep. Yeah, I probably will not be doing any more buddy reads. I think this probably killed it. Thank you.
Scarred you.
I don't know what your ultimate plan was for this whole thing, but I think you probably succeeded.
Well, I do what I can with what I have to work with. So
yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it.
Yes, I did too.
It was a good book.
Yep.
Thank you for everyone that tuned in. Hopefully you had some fun here with these two, or us two knuckleheads. So
yep.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend all. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you're reading something good. Any last words, Jay?
Bye. Get me out of here. I've had enough. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys.